Just doing a little bit of drawing here today, scribbling away with pencils in my sketchbook. Hope you're all doing okay. Right now, as I'm recording this, it's the weekend. Like I posted, when I put this on Instagram, in the caption, I said something about how I was feeling kind of frantic with some of these drawings. I'm not like being careful like I was sometimes with some of my drawings in the past. Well, I was never that careful because I was never planning them out, but I feel like all of these pencil drawings, I posted a few of them a little while ago. I'm like practicing or preparing, or it's like getting me ready for something. Each one I do is, I'm learning a little bit more about how the pencil can move across the paper, about how things can look when I'm done. I guess a good word for that is composition. I'm also been practicing the piano a lot more later, and while these are two very different things, learning an instrument and drawing, one of the things that maybe has been infecting my mind from my piano practicing is just the idea of doing things over and over again. Because I don't know, sometimes I've been watching these videos of people who are so good at playing the piano, and I think that they must have just practiced some of these songs hundreds or thousands of times. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell because you kind of just see them popping up at a concert and playing some song flawlessly, right? And they don't have any music in front of them, and it's a long song, and they're playing with an orchestra, and it's just all in their head, and they play perfectly. And if they do miss any notes, it doesn't fluster them, and I don't really notice. But all I'm saying is you don't really see all the behind the scenes stuff where they're just practicing for hours and hours a day, right? You just kind of see the end result. But I think that what I'm trying to say is this drawing, is kind of one of my version of a behind the scenes practice, because it's me just kind of exploring. It's me just kind of repeating the activity of drawing, just doing it over and over again. The more I do it, I'm convinced that I'm going to get better. I'll learn something. But then again, I tell myself that. I tell myself, hey, Peter, if you draw, you'll get better at it. There's no way you're not going to. But then sometimes I also, as I find myself at the piano, I usually have about 1 week between my piano lessons. Every now and then I am afraid, especially one time I had 3 weeks between lessons because my piano teacher went on vacation, and then there was spring break at the piano school, and I got kind of paranoid that I was starting to practice things wrong. What if I'm learning them wrong? What if I'm repeating them over and over in the wrong way, and I'm committing some error to muscle memory? And I just had to tell myself, hey, it's not the end of the world. It's going to be okay, because if I committed it to muscle memory, I can uncommit it to muscle memory. I can unlearn it. I can learn it a different way. Plus, it's not worth stressing about because it's just practicing piano. It's better by far to sit here and practice and make some progress in some direction than to stress out and make, stress myself into immobility. So that's pretty much what I'm telling myself about both piano and drawing and any creative endeavors at all. I think if you're thinking about it too much to the point where you're not making something just because you're second guessing yourself too much, then that's too much thinking. All right. If you're going to do some thinking, do it while you're doing the thing at least. All right. So I'm having fun drawing here because I'm thinking about, one of the things I've noticed about pencils is that you can draw very carefully with pencils and get these nice smooth shades and gradients where you can't even notice any of the pencil markings, right? And people use these things called blending stumps even to even more fully disguise the marks and the presence of the pencil that was there. But I really like the texture of pencil marks. So you could probably see there's a lot of them in these pencil drawings I've been doing, because maybe that comes from me using pens for so long, where each stroke is so apparent, unless it's a solidly filled in area. I don't know. But I'm about to go outside because some people have been posting. It's 9:10 in the evening, and some people have been posting pictures on the internet about like being able to see aurora borealis or some sort of solar flares in the night sky, even in places that aren't like Iceland or Norway. I don't know if I'll be able to see anything outside. I don't know if this means the world is ending or if there's just some sort of... The brief explanation I heard is that there's some kind of solar storm. I don't know what that means either. It sounds mildly concerning. I don't know if that means I should, put on sunscreen when I go out at night at the moment, or it seems abnormal. This seems like the kind of thing, maybe I'm just not sure whether I should be alarmed, and I feel like I'm just kind of taking my cues from how alarmed other people are, and I feel like usually I'm not like that. But now I'm realizing I am. You just kind of take the temperature of society in general and you say, hey, is everyone else freaking out? No, I guess I won't either, sort of thing, right? Like if there was like a giant comet in the sky and you go outside and everyone else is just kind of walking around. Wasn't there a Netflix movie about this? Anyways, I'm wondering, like, it's not normal to see aurora borealis in North Carolina. Maybe I won't be able to. Maybe everything's fine. Maybe it is normal and I'm just inside most of the time, sleeping when it's happening. Everyone is. Maybe scientists usually sleep at night. No, it's got to be. There's got to be astronomers. Wait, that's a good question. Do astronomers sleep during the day and stay up all night? Do they all work third shift or whatever it's called? Well, there's got to be some astronomers that work during the day because they use those telescopes that are in orbit around the Earth. The James Webb Telescope, the Hubble Space Telescope. They can sit at their computers inside day or night and receive feeds, I guess, from telescopes that are out in space somewhere. You know what I would like to go visit one day? One of those giant radio telescopes. It's like a satellite dish. I don't know if it's real. I've seen them in movies. Those giant satellite dish telescope. Are those telescopes? I don't know whether to call them satellite dishes. They look like DirecTV satellite dishes, but they're like 800 feet tall and they look amazing. And in some movies I've seen whole giant plains, fields full of them, like they're arrayed out there. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It just seems like there's so many of these massive things all kind of pointed up at the sky at like a 65-degree angle. I don't know if they're beaming stuff out into space or receiving signals from space. I don't know if they're trying to receive signals from the bleeps and the natural bleeps and bloops of stars, or looking for alien signals. Like I remember back when I played one of the first Civilization games I ever got. I think it might have been Civilization 2 or Civilization 3. One of the wonders, because in these they're turn-based strategy games, and one of the wonders you could build was SETI, SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, and it basically looked like this huge dish placed into the ground. And this is I think it might be the same dish that was a map in one of the Battlefield games, and there was a destruction event in the game where the dish would collapse. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I just realized that those might have been the same things, and I think this is a real dish that existed somewhere. But then I read that, I mean, I don't know how. I'm thinking it must have been an astronomical amount of money to build a giant dish suspended above the ground. This is even bigger than the other ones I was talking about. It's just basically like a giant bowl facing straight up, you know. And I heard it was just like kind of abandoned and decayed, and it fell apart because funding ran out or something. I don't know. It's kind of sad. Because, I mean, as big as it must have been effective for something, right? Sounds like I need to read some more Wikipedia articles. That's what I'm thinking. But there's so many. I tried to, they always say some people who try to discredit Wikipedia, they try to say, oh, anyone can edit Wikipedia, but it's kind of complicated because I try to figure it out before. Like I made an account and stuff, and yeah, once you make an account, or maybe I don't think you can edit anonymously. Some articles you can just hop on there and edit, but as soon as you edit something, I feel like it sends out a notification to everyone else who's ever edited that article, and a lot of things get edited back pretty quick if there's no citations or whatever. But what I'm saying is, it's kind of complicated to figure it all out. The systems they have there, they have their own like proprietary systems on Wikipedia for a lot of things. Like it's very insular, the things that they've figured out for their own encyclopedia. It's like I don't know how to explain, because I was trying to look up, like, you know how you go on some articles and there's like a photograph of something. I wanted to go and look like, hey, I have a nice camera. Maybe I should find a list of things they still need photographs for. And if I'm ever out and about and I see one of those things they still need photographs for, I'll take a picture of it and upload it to Wikipedia. And the process to even like browse the list or upload a photograph was so complicated, it discouraged me. Also, I did find an error on Wikipedia one time, and I think it's still up there, but it was not like a plain, obvious error. It was an error I only found because I was staring at it for so long and so hard. I was looking at this graph on the Wikipedia page for aluminum, and it was like aluminum in the Earth's crust, and how apparently minerals, not just aluminum, but like aluminum, iron, mercury, or most minerals that are present in the Earth's crust and in the atmosphere and stuff like that move around, right? They get moved around by like the water moving around, by volcanoes, by human industry, by all sorts of strange little things. Some are fast things, some are slow things. But there was like this graph that somebody had drawn with like Illustrator, and I was like staring at it because I like graphs and charts, and some of it, the more I looked at it, some of it just didn't make sense. It took me a long time to figure out because all of the numbers in it were strangely written in scientific notation or whatever. But eventually I was like, wait a second, something about this isn't adding up. And it was a very obscure kind of esoteric graph and page in the first place. So I don't think that anyone had ever gone on there and probably no one had ever cited it or made a mistake because of this graph. But the nice thing was I could click on it and find out what the source material for that graph was. And it was also interesting because I could look at the previous versions of the graph and see all the little sketches that this person had made as they were planning on the graph. So that was kind of cool. Anyways, and then I clicked on the source material, and it was like this research paper, and the source was essentially a much more complicated and less easy to read graph. And I think basically the person who read it I mean, the person who made the erroneous graph, just, I don't know if I think in one or two places they like messed up the scientific notation. In one place they didn't understand the concept of like industry pumping aluminum into the atmosphere. Also, interestingly, on this graph, the moon was included. Okay, I don't even know why I'm talking about this graph, but the point is I found an error and I wanted to fix it, but I didn't care enough to do it. So I shouldn't be judging them too hard, because the person who made the graph in the first place obviously cared enough to go through far more effort to do it. So who cares? It's just some weird movement of aluminum in the Earth's crust thing. I don't know. Anyways, I'm about to go for a walk, see if I can see some strange lights in the sky. Maybe there'll be aliens. Maybe there will be ghosts or spirits. I feel like if I'm ever going to see aliens, ghosts, spirits, or maybe werewolves or vampires out and about, it will be during a solar storm, during the aurora borealis. I do feel like I've been seeing more strange things lately, like visual glitches. I don't know if it's just my brain and visual, like my eyesight disintegrating. Maybe it's just me getting old, but sometimes, like out of the corner of my eye, I see what seems to be, I don't know, it seems like the world's still loading in or rendering poorly. Like it may really more than strange spiritual things like spirits, or it makes me think that I'm living in a simulation more than anything, because if I like sometimes after I see one of those strange things, like out of the corner of my eye a light pole won't be aligned correctly, I think it's just my brain kind of filling in the gaps of what my eye isn't really seeing and filling it in wrongly or something. But then after I see that, then sometimes I'll whip around really quick to see if I can see more unrendered stuff behind me that whatever supercomputer we're trapped in wasn't ready to render, you know? Do you think if we put a lot of people, what if we arranged a day for everyone in the world to just start spinning around in circles? We could crash the supercomputer that we're in, because everything would have to be, a lot more stuff would be rendered. Maybe, I don't know. Well, maybe in my experience of a lot of like computer games and other engines like that, a lot of things that crash the the engines is things like rendering smoke and rain and reflections. That seems to be the thing that messes things up the most. So maybe we should get everyone to set off a smoke grenade. Or, I don't know, another thing I found on Wikipedia was there's like a whole list of tire fires, and I think those have been probably pumping out tons of smoke. If we set more tire fires and get a bunch more volcanoes to erupt all at the same time, whatever supercomputer we're stuck in should slow down to a chug as it struggles to render and compute all of the smoke from all of these events, and also at the same time coat the material around the tire fires and volcanoes in reflective materials. Then it will have to render twice as much smoke, at least. And then if anything weird happens then, like if everyone there starts experiencing visual glitches, then we'll know for sure. I'm just trying to think of ways that we can push the limits of the supercomputer that we're stuck in to its limits. But maybe if it's really a supercomputer, like a supercomputer, more than we can really comprehend, it's probably only working on like 0.01% load with all of the things that we experience and do, right? It's like little old Earth is probably just like a is probably like me running Notepad on my computer. So, I don't know. All right, so this drawing took me about 30 minutes to draw, but I don't know if I have 10 more minutes of things to say in order for this to be like a real-time drawing. So I'm probably just going to wrap it up here. So thanks for watching this 20-minute-ish video. I hope you're all doing well, and see you later. I'm sure everything I just talked about made complete sense, and let me know what your best idea is for getting us out of, well, I don't know if we can ever get out of the computer because we're part of the computer, but at least just proof that we're in it. Just making things glitch or lag a little, just, proof of concept. All right, goodbye. You get it. All right, goodbye.